one day, Thomas's mother got him a nice new purple snowsuit. And when Thomas saw that snowsuit, he says, "That is the ugliest thing I have seen in my life. If you think that I am going to wear that ugly snowsuit, you are crazy." Mom said, "We will see about that." Next day, when it was time to go to school, the mummy says, "Thomas, please put on your snowsuit." And Thomas says, "No." And the mom goes, she says, "Thomas, put on your snowsuit." And Thomas says, "No." So the mother picks up Thomas in one hand, picks up the snowsuit in the other hand, tries to stick them together. She goes, they get in a big fight. And when they're done, Thomas was in the snowsuit. He took it to school, took it off, hung it up. When it was time to go out for recess, all the other kids jumped up, ran across the room, jumped in their snowsuits, and went out the door, but not Thomas. And the teacher looked at him and she said, "Thomas, please put on your snowsuit." And Thomas said, "No." And the teacher went, she said, "Thomas, put on your snowsuit." And Thomas said, "No." So the teacher picked up Thomas in one hand, picked up the snowsuit in the other hand. She tried to get him back in the snowsuit. She they got in a great big fight, wrecked the whole room. And when they were done, the teacher was wearing Thomas's snowsuit, and Thomas was wearing the teacher's dress. They looked down, saw what they were wearing, and they both went, "Ah!" Teacher picked up Thomas, tried to get him back in the snowsuit. Had a big fight, and when they were done, the snowsuit and the dress were tied into a knot in the middle of the floor, and Thomas and the teacher were in their underwear. And just then the door opened up, and in walked the principal. And the teacher said, "Dad, it's Thomas. He won't put on his snowsuit." Principal says, "Thomas, put on your snowsuit." Thomas said, "No." So the principal picked up Thomas in one hand, picked up the teacher in the other hand, tried to get them back in their clothes. He went, had a big fight, and when they were done, the principal was wearing the teacher's dress. The teacher was wearing the principal's pants. And Thomas was still in his underwear. And just then, from way out back, someone said, "Thomas, come and play." And Thomas ran across the room, jumped on his snowsuit, got it on in 2 seconds, and went out the door.
2 seconds?
2 seconds, yeah. And the principal looked at the teacher and said, "Give me back my pants." And the teacher looked at the principal and says, "Well, you give me back my dress." Well, they argued and argued and argued and argued. Finally, Thomas came back in. He looked at the principal, looked at the teacher, picked up the principal in one hand, picked up the teacher in the other hand, and he went, got them all back into their clothes. And that's the end of that story.